Hello and welcome to the Film Posers YouTube page. Today we are going to be reviewing Vampires vs. the Bronx. It is directed by Oz Rodriguez and it is also written by Oz Rodriguez and Blaise Hemingway. It is a film about a group of young friends from the Bronx that fight to save their neighborhood from a band of vampires. Now, it is a comedy horror film that blends culture and politics seamlessly. And before we get into our non-spoilery section, I just wanted to thank Chelsea Acosta from Netflix for providing us this screener. Now, describe the film in 3 words. Let's start with you, Anna.
Well, gentrification and Latinidad.
Yes. Gabriela.
Realistic in the sense that that's exactly how I would react if I found out that there were vampires in my neighborhood. And it was funny. I really liked the comedy in it. Made me laugh a lot of times. Latinx.
Okay.
Because it was very Latinx.
Juan, 3 words you would use to describe the film.
I wanted to say funny, but Gabriela already used it. So to give 3 new words, Blade. Adobo.
Yes.
Adobo. Sabor.
Gonna use sabor.
Our minds.
Okay. Okay. Then I think I'm gonna go with Caribbean. Karen. And supernatural. So I think those, like a combination of all of those 12 words, pretty much summarize the film very well, especially Karen. I don't know why, because I saw it, the other film posers got to see it together. I saw it separately, and while I was watching it, I just kept thinking, I feel like from the beginning, someone, probably Gabriela, was like, don't trust the white lady.
In fact, yeah.
Definitely, she was saying that.
I could sense it.
I saw her getting the nails done, and I was like, I don't trust her.
So, first reactions. Juan, you really wanted to talk about this, so I'll give it to you. What did you think of the film?
So I thought the film was a fun time. It was better than I expected. I hadn't heard of this film. I saw it because Josie sent us the trailer. And when I saw it, I was like, okay, this looks like it could be fun. You know, I always have now an expectation with trailers that if they're really good, I expect them to deliver. But now I can't get my hopes too high because or else I'm going to just be very disappointed. But I did end up liking this. I think it's a great choice for like a Friday night with a Netflix party, given the current situation with your friends, and you want to watch like a new movie to celebrate Halloween. This is definitely a great choice. And since vampires are making a comeback, like this is definitely a great choice. It's refreshing. It's very refreshing. Oh yes, and it has its funny moments. It has a lot of Latinx. It's a word. Has a lot
representation.
Of Latinx. Yes, but also it has a lot of Latinx references that, as a Puerto Rican, I was seeing so many of them, and I'm like, oh my god! They mentioned the chancleta, and I'm like, oh, okay, I'm already hiding. It made me feel very much part of the movie, and it didn't feel forced at all. It felt very organic, which is so tricky to do. So I was so glad that this movie was able to pull it off. And it even had some great social commentary, which we'll get into. But
yes,
I had a fun time. I'd recommend it.
So this one is for all of the posers. Who is your favorite character from the film?
I say Luis, man.
Yeah, Luis.
When he was being an anxious bubble, I was like, I relate to him, okay?
And I just love how his first instinct was, we need to watch Blade to prepare. And I was just like, that's me.
He was the one
Yep.
with the details, okay? He knew everything.
He knew. And yeah, he was saying all the details. And then there was me like saying, yes, that is true. Like facts. And it's like, God, that was me as a child obsessed with vampires. Like I felt so seen. Because,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yeah, I really loved Luis, especially, I mean, Puerto Rican Harry Potter.
Yes.
And I liked him because he was the one I could relate to the most, and not just because he was Puerto Rican. That does help. But again, how Anna mentioned, like the anxiousness and the whole low blood sugar. And he was reading Stephen King, like at the beginning. So you know what kind of a person he is. He's like very geeky and anxious, and we love that. So to say someone else, I really liked Miguel, Lil Mayor, just because watching the film, I just kept thinking, this kid is fearless. He's doing all of these things. And I'm like, I would be standing by the side with Luis.
Yeah.
I love those two choices, but my choice is Tony. Tony was amazing.
We'll talk about Tony soon.
Él era el papá de los pollitos.
Uh-huh.
I thought he was such a great supporting character. He had his funny moments, he had his caring moments, and he really did care so much about Miguel. And you really could feel the devotion of Miguel wanting to save the bodega from the beginning. Like, I just thought that was great. Tony, we love Tony in this household.
Yeah, and it was also nice to see Dominican representation done right, because usually, especially recently, you still see people representing Dominicans como mujeriegos and just like a certain type of stereotype. And Tony was nothing like that. He was an actual person, and I felt like he was done absolutely right. And that is how you write a secondary character as well. Like, as a supporting character, he was great because he moved the plot forward without it being without it dragging. And he added more to the main story. So I absolutely love Tony.
Another character that I feel that it was also like a little bit of representation, even though they were like a little bit more of an extra, were the moms of the kids.
Yes.
Yeah. Like
I felt that every time they got the regaño, okay?
And every time they called them by their full name and he didn't turn around, like, dude, turn around right now or you're gonna die. Like, when they call you by your whole name, you're in trouble. You need to go.
Okay.
Ay, la chancleta.
So before we go into spoilers, I just wanted to ask the posters, what would you like people to know before they go into the film? We can start with Juan.
This is not a film you need to take so seriously. This isn't an awards contender. This is a fun Halloween movie where it's 90 minutes. There's not that much commitment to the runtime, which I appreciate, but you're in for a great ride. It's a great story. It's great representation, and it's new content, and it's on Netflix. Like, this is a great time. Trust me, just watch the trailer. If it fits, perfect.
So I feel that this movie is not for everyone because it's more family oriented. So horror enthusiasts are more old. I feel that some of them will not appreciate it because it's not your demographic. Again, what Juan said, it's not to be able to take it seriously. It's more of a children-oriented movie that also has social commentary, but is downgraded in the level that they can understand. Also, they have really great Latino representation. I really like how they use the Spanish, but it didn't have to be stereotypical. And it's something that we related to at the same time. And it's a movie that, yeah, you can watch it and have a fun time with your friends.
And it's like campy, but not too campy when it comes to some of the humor, which I thought was great.
Yeah. Gabriela.
I think people should know that it's not gory. because I feel that going into, especially a Netflix original, that's, has like horror elements, a lot of people expect it to be very gory, and obviously a lot of people don't like that. So I want people to know that it's not gory, it's not very violent. Again, it's family, it's meant for younger audiences. So obviously, if you're uncomfortable with gore, you won't see vampires like ripping off heads or anything like that. There's no gore in it, so it's very appropriate for everyone.
It's definitely a family movie. It is not a B movie, but it does have its charm that a lot of people do like from that. It's also very faithful to Latinidad. I think Rodriguez, again, he did a great job, especially it feels not only like a love letter to the Bronx, it also feels like a love letter to being Dominican and Haitian and Puerto Rican, but growing up outside of your island and still feeling that connection. Just to say that these people matter, which is the big message of the film, that these people matter no matter the situation or what other people say about the Bronx, which we'll get into soon because it goes into the social commentary. But it's also, like Gabriela said, it is PG-13. So it is able to be watched by everybody. It's also easily accessible because a lot of people do have Netflix accounts. And if you don't, do a Netflix party with some friends, like Juan mentioned, because we are constantly talking about how we want more Latinx representation. And usually Afro-Latinx representation is very scarce. So please support it because we need more of this because it was done so well and with so much love and care. And we need more of that. So going into spoiler section, the film addresses political issues through horror comedy. Was there a part that stood out to you the most?
Gentrification.
How the main vampire looked down upon the children just because they live in the Bronx.
Yeah, also like the gentrification aspect of it was really what stood out to me the most.
Yep.
Because it is a huge problem in New York, especially. Like we've seen it happen to Harlem. Harlem used to be a borough where many Black people and other POCs lived. But since obviously it was cheaper, then white people started going there and started, forcing these people to leave. And it became like this whole new thing that it's not what it used to be. And we see that in the Bronx, how they keep closing down businesses to make like butter stores or sell vegan ice cream. And they wanted to close the bodega to make like a pizzeria that sounds bougie pizza. Like, it was really surprising, that commentary, because it is a reality. And it not only does that happen in New York, it happens all over the world. That they close down, they want to close down, the local family-owned businesses in favor of these artsy businesses that take away from the culture and everything else from that community.
Yeah.
So I really like
how going to what you said about the bodegas and such, and we see in the movie how Tony was trying to adapt with the gentrification, with putting on like very high price products, and even him trying to sell it to the vampire lady. Like he was trying. That's like a reality that also happens in those kind of places.
Yeah. Selling vegan milk in a bodega, like, that's not a thing.
No.
Yeah.
Juan.
Oh, I completely agree with what Anna and Gabriela said wholeheartedly. Like, everything they said, that's exactly how I felt watching this, and I love to see it done in a way that's not like it's forced upon you, like you have to know this, even though you should know this. But I liked how they made it so organic that everyone could see this and be like, yo, this is wrong. And they look around after they see the movie and they're like, this is happening. What are we going to do about it? So I like that aspect a lot.
Sí, algo que me llamó la atención was how they kept talking about how the Bronx was the perfect place to do this because nobody cares if people disappear.
Yeah.
That gave me chills because it like hit the nail right on the head. That was the central message that I think the film was trying to get out, that these people do matter, and like this exists to this day. Like this happens in real life. People like this, you don't have to be a vampire to be a suckhead of the world, because there are actual people trying to get rid of POCs in the Bronx and Brooklyn, and in personal experiences also happen in Savannah, and it happens here. I mean, Ocean Park, my gosh. And it also got me thinking about how that's been happening recently, where women are disappearing in Puerto Rico and some people genuinely don't care. And they're like, oh, let's blame the women for what's happening to them, when that is absolutely wrong. It's not the woman's fault for whatever happens to her. We need making this political, and I just like how the movie was able to do that. Not subtly, because you do get the message quite clear, but it's not in your face. It was very seamless and very natural, and I appreciated it, because sometimes we're forced to sugarcoat what we're trying to say just for mass appeal and for marketing. But mira, habla español en tu película. Mete la cultura, do whatever you want, because we are here, we're unapologetic, and we deserve to express ourselves however we want, and we deserve to have our voices heard, and we deserve to be represented in every single way. So I really like that. Now, the elephant in the room. Justice for Tony.
Man.
Yeah. I was like, I swear if they kill Tony, I am going to flip a table. And
I can tell you right now that Gabriela did not flip a table, but she was sad.
I was so sad.
Oh, and the ending when the little mayor had la cadena de él, it hit me right in the feels.
For me, it was the Sammy Sosa baseball bat.
Yes.
I knew that they were going to kill the vampire with the baseball bat. I knew it.
Yes. It had to happen.
Like, mm-hmm.
And I love it's going towards the end, so I'm sorry for mentioning it, but I just thought it was so beautiful. The graffiti they did for the store at the end.
Yeah, the mural.
That's when I started to cry.
I thought it was beautiful. The artwork itself was beautiful, and the message behind it was even more beautiful.
Mm-hmm.
He was a good guy.
Yeah.
He just wanted to run his bodega in peace and wanted to take care of the children.
Yeah, especially like going back, there was absolutely no machismo from him, no toxic masculinity. Yeah. He was immediately like, little mayor, listen to your mom.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. You and I don't want the chancletazo.
I felt that.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yes, so to close this review off, I just wanted to talk about how, again, the movie does blend culture seamlessly into the film. Did anything stand out to you? And I'm pretty sure there's going to be one specific thing that we'll all have in common that has to do with the special seasoning.
Adobo!
Adobo.
Yes!
Come on!
That was amazing.
It was beautiful. Like, this is what you get when you season your food correctly. You get to kill vampires with the seasoning.
Mm-hmm.
I'm sorry, pero the one que me lo explotó es que, so when all the neighbors went to battle the vampire, one used la mesa de domino.
Yeah.
Protection. That took me back.
Domino is an intense game.
It is.
Like, if a vampire were to play a round of domino with one of the characters, the vampires would lose.
And then eat the people.
Because we take domino very seriously.
Yeah. I also really liked, this isn't that so much cultural, but I really liked how Father Jackson, when he went to find the boys during church, And he's like, they took my Sprite.
Oh, I also
Oh, that's
love
so
the scene where they like take when they were talking to Tony about the things that they needed to get to defeat the vampires, and one of the kids was like, oh yeah, like the little piece of bread you get at church, and someone was like, you mean the Eucharist? Church, you little heathen. I lost it.
And that's the thing. I lost it when Luis goes Eucharist. He said Otira.
No, he goes the body of Christ. And
The body of Christ.
Mira.
I thought that was great.
I love that.
For me,
That was iconic.
one of my favorite parts, which Gabriela mentioned it to me first, is towards the end. It's a small detail, but it's a beautiful detail. And it's seeing the Puerto Rican flag just right out there. I thought that was beautiful.
Yeah. And production design wise, I loved how you could tell that these are people that know like what a Latinx house looks like a home. Porque la pintura con los flamboyante and the ocean, like, you know, that's supposed to be
the giant flag of the country you come from.
Mm-hmm.
They have a giant Dominican flag. That is facts. Mm-hmm. We all have giant flags in our houses. That is true.
And all the crosses.
Yes. When they needed to get crosses, there was not a shortage of crosses. We all have one.
Well, this is actually the end of our review. Any closing remarks you guys would like to share with our viewers?
Vampires are back.
Vampires are back.
Fear the chancleta.
Fear the
Beware
chancleta.
la chancleta. Listen to your moms. Avoid la chancleta.
And always remember to add the sabor.
Yes. And also stand up for your community. Well, that's all for this review. Thank you for sticking around. We really hope you liked the film, because if you're watching this part, that means you watched the film. We hope you liked it, and we hope that we get more stories like this. Again, thank you to Chelsea Acosta for the screener, and thank you to Oz Rodriguez for making this film, and we are super grateful. It is Film Poser approved, and let us know what you think. Remember to follow us on Twitter, Instagram, our Facebook page, and here on our YouTube channel. Well, that's all for today. Remember, we're all film posers. Bye.
Bye.
Bye.